Hello, good morning and good evening. My name is Amit and welcome to bispsolutions.com. Today I'm going to show you how to analyze income statement using Tableau. We would be using real data from one of the website called financials.morningstar.com, and I'll be using Disney data to showcase you how to perform real data analysis using Tableau. For the sake of simplicity, the entire session I divided into multiple pieces, and today we would be focusing on one small tiny analysis on income statement, and as we go on we'll continue talking about balance sheet, profit loss statement, advanced predictive analytics as well. So let me take you to the site from where I like to take the data. So uh, this is the site from where I've taken the data, and as you see I'm looking at the financial data for Walt Disney, and there are income statement, balance sheet and cash flow. I like to continue to focus on income statement first. As you see, this web page give me a couple of options to analyze my data, but not in a rich format. I can select for how many years, what order, whether I like to see currency or in percentage, perform some decimal value and blah blah. I like to take the same data and do offer rich data analytics to my customer. So what I did first, I export all data into my Excel. There's an option called export. You can export data, and the limitation over here, the data it exported, it is not exactly the format you can use it for analysis, and therefore I need to normalize the data from Excel into the format that can be used for data analytics. So as you understand, we need to convert this in terms of dimension and facts. And all these financial elements, I would call them income statement elements or financial elements to be a generic term, and I want them to be considered as a measure, and time, the year, should consider as a dimension. So what I did, I'll take all the financial elements and convert from rows to column. There's an option called transpose. So anything appears in column is considered to be as a measure. I go for paste spatial and go for transpose. And then I take time for year, 5 years data. I'll show them as in my column. Again I transpose. Then I take a combination of this, and again I put it over there in a transform format. This data now it is in a format I can use it for analysis. Right, so this is how it looked like eventually. Okay, so once you prepare the Excel sheet, the next step uh, is to bring this Excel sheet into your Tableau. Right, so I go to my Tableau and I start from beginning completely. I'm using Excel option over here. These are two data sheet I already copied into my local system. I take the data and I wanted my financial element to be considered as a measure. As you see over here, revenue, cost of revenue, gross profit and all appear as a measure in a column. A year appear as a row. So I want year to be considered a dimension and all of them considered as a measure. The one limitation you have in your source, your time dimension appears as a hierarchy, which we cannot directly do this. You look at this, operating expenses appear as a hierarchy. So you don't have direct option to create a major hierarchy. Okay. So we deal with this situation, we'll talk about how to perform this workaround as well. So for the sake of simplicity, this is my data and nothing complicated in it. I take the same order as my data source order and I go to my Excel sheet. The first analysis I like to do it. I like to give revenue, cost of revenue, gross profit and blah blah, all measures. Okay. So one simple straightforward analysis you can do it. You also find something strange as there is only one instance of basics, but you see there are two instances when I bought into my system. The reason behind this, In a hierarchy, parent and child has the same value, and therefore when I bought it, it appears as it is double instance. So you don't have to worry about it. We'll see how to handle it. Right now we'll make it simple and put all the measures over here. This is my simple data navigation in a tabular format. But I need more meaningful analysis. On top of this, my business user can do some decision making on top of that. So what I'll do, I keep this analysis, I leave up to you. You can play around with these numbers. I'll take one revenue, cost of revenue in terms of number, in terms of percentage, and like to show to my user what is my growth factor from year over year. I mean from previous year to current year, did organization really grown up, and to what extent, what to in what degree the growth is recorded. So I like to use revenue uh, and exactly the same format, revenue and cost of goods sold, cost of revenue. Okay, revenue, cost of revenue, right? I changed the order a little bit. I lost year over here. I need to drag and drop again. Sorry about that. Fine. So this is my revenue. Now what I wanted to show, I first want to add the gross total, and I like to record the year over year growth factor. So we have revenue, cost of revenue, and I like to find out what is my cost of revenue percentage of revenue, right? So I'll create a computed column on top of cost of revenue. And this is what I'm going to show you in terms of year over year. We'll take a multiple instance of this and put them together into a dashboard. So I create a calculated measure, create a calculated measure. So it's going to be fairly simple. Cost of revenue divided by revenue. And I call this cost of revenue percentage. And I want this to be considered as a percentage, not as a number. So I drag and drop and put over here, change the format. It is rounding off to 1 because it is of number type. Go to format and change it from number to currency or percentage. I use percentage. So I see cost of revenue is 79% of my total revenue. So naturally the remaining amount is your gross profit, right? So you can also drag and drop and put a gross profit over here. And this is how you get a complete picture. In the same fashion, you continue drag and drop and add more member. Right, that's a one simplified view. So my revenue, cost of revenue, gross profit, and this is a simple tabular view, but I want to make a more meaningful analysis on top of this. So here your creativity comes into picture. First, I like to show year over year growth. Okay. So for that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a duplicate sheet of it and just swap the numbers. Okay. And probably the other way was good. Yeah. And I use a grand total. Total display, total of column. Fine. It should be 320 is wrong. So I'm going to click on this and just don't want to show this number. Hide it. Right, or I could take average of it as well. What is important, I like to figure out what is year over year revenue from one year to another year, how my revenue has grown up. So to show year over year revenue, I'll take perform a table calculation on top of this, and I like to see the percentage of total. What is my percentage of total? I mean, this is not year over year. Let me correct. This is going to talk about what is my contribution of the revenue for 5-year total revenue. This is also I can figure out which year our revenue has recorded highest revenue. This is an alternate way. So as we see, I'll show both revenue and revenue percentage together. Very crystal clear picture. By looking at the revenue only, it is difficult to figure out. I mean, looking at the number, it is difficult to understand, but looking at percent, we can quickly figure out that 2016 has got highest revenue. It means my revenue is growing indeed year over year. Is my cost of revenue is also growing? We'll take cost of revenue and apply table calculation on top of this as well. Hit add table calculation and percentage of total. And with respect to my specific dimension here, perfect. So I get revenue percentage across 5-year and cost of revenue percentage. I put them in a certain order. Perfect. So now let's figure out whether how my revenue is growing year over year. Is my cost of revenue also growing in the same proportion, or is my revenue is growing year over year, but my cost of revenue is not going in the same context? When I say year over year, it means I take a from 2012 2013, my contribution percentage is higher, isn't it? So it's a growth. Contribution percentage is higher. Now let's do an additional analysis on top of this. Probably I visualize this so it make more sense. Duplicate sheet, and I use a cluster bar chart, and I would remove the measures which I do not need them for now. Perfect. So this is what I wanted to see, but I want to make it more meaningful. So I use a dual axis chart. I drag and drop and put on different axes. So one of the view is your revenue, which I show with the bar chart. And my cost of revenue is I show with a circle. And then I'm going to change the color as well so we can quickly figure out what is what. Perfect. So this is what I can find now. From 2012 to 2013, 14, 15, my revenue is continue to growing year over year, or the growth percent of across 5 year. 2016 has the highest growth percent, which is close to 25. Okay, but when it comes to cost of revenue for first 2 year, it grown up and then it fall down, isn't it? So year over it. Now we can look at the integrated view of both of them. I can do a lot of good, naming convention, all I've left it up to you. I did not do much. I put them together. Probably, we can do a best fit and all. There are a lot of options we have in table, in dashboard, which we continue to talk about this in subsequent session. So I make it float. I'm going to keep it next to this. So I want to put them one after other, and so that we can do a relative analysis. So I just arrange them together to give a one consistent view of the whole income statement. Naming convention, all I can continue to it. So this is what I can figure out as my from 1 year to another year, my revenue is growing, but my cost of revenue is not going the same fashion. It means my cost of revenue was least in 2014 as compared to other year. I mean, this is in fact, it is good if your cost of revenue is reducing. It will give you more opportunity to make a profit. Okay, so another way around, your gross profit is increasing year over year, isn't it? So this is how you can do basic analysis on real data. This is just a beginning, and in my subsequent session I'll talk about in more detail advanced and predictive analytics on your income statement, cash flow, and balance sheet as well. So that's it for today. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and should you have any question, please feel free to reach out to us.